Hey, how's it going?
I'm well. How are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. Trying to, for some reason, my Instagram, like, I guess it's still like a bug whenever you're on live and you swipe and everything just goes up. So I haven't used my other phone as far as like for the comments and things like that because I'm probably not going to see everything. My apologies.
No worries. Me, I'm a little far away, so it's tricky for me to see, to read.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this on now. Yeah, I hate that it does this. Let's see. I know next time we do this, I'd definitely love to kind of like month our stream to both TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch, all in three platforms. It's just
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
let's wait for a couple more people to get into here. Let's see.
But to stream to all those three platforms, you would need a connector, a platform
Oh,
connector, right?
just OBS. You able to use
OBS.
OBS to do that? Because you know now with Instagram, they give you stream keys now. So you have stream keys and as long as OBS and add the chat or add the individual that you want to add to the guest, then you're going to get all of that all in one place. Because I definitely would love to do this on TikTok. I was still kind of playing around with some of the things, kind of why it took me a little minute to get on here. But the next go around, I definitely plan on having a ton of different things so it can connect everybody up and you have like all the platforms on one and would be obviously the chats. So that's the
I,
goal for next
I like your
time.
background.
Thank you. Yeah, I actually just kind
Very
of reset
interactive.
everything up. Yeah, I just did everything. I gotta add some more steps to the back wall and all that. But yeah, it's coming along. I just moved in like 2 months ago, so still a couple of things I'm trying to get accomplished.
All right.
Let's see. I can't see anything going. Um, let me see. Sorry about that. Oh man. Let me.
Oh man, we already have question chiming in.
Oh man, that's great. I'm gonna try to. 'Cause I know. Uh, man.
Yeah, let me try to move closer.
Okay. Oh man, that's great. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh yeah. We have a nice. Okay, it's funny though because I actually had to tune in to like you guys live on my computer so I can see everything. Um,
Yeah, I saw several questions already chiming in. I see recruiter cousin already in the building.
yeah, I've seen a couple of people in here. That's good. So, you want to kind of go ahead and get started, I guess?
Yeah, let's get
Kind of.
started, man.
All right,
So,
man. So,
what do you want to know? It's
tell
your
us a little,
Q&A.
little bit about yourself. Like, who is Juby? Yellowtail Tech? How did this come about? Like,
Oh
just
man.
give us a little background for the people that have never heard of Yellowtail Tech.
Yes. YellowTail Tech is a ed tech company that focuses on training people with no IT background, specifically in
Mm-hmm.
Linux and cloud. We make it our business to focus on people with absolutely no IT background.
Mm-hmm.
The way we distinguish ourselves is that we notice that most training platforms or programs or institutions, they'd, they'd rather train people with some IT background. All
Mm-hmm.
right. They will take people with no IT background.
Mm-hmm.
But for us, we make it our business to train people with no IT background. So that implies uh, delivering, designing programs specifically for people who know nothing about IT. So the way we deliver our program, the length of our program, the way we offer support, the way we move along with you in the program, all that is informed by the fact that we focus solely on helping people with no IT background. This is essentially what we do. So
Okay.
that's our offering. a little bit about me. I have a background in management information systems. I am a Linux system administrator. Um, a little more than 8 years ago, we made this official.
Mm-hmm.
So the way this happens, unlike most edtech companies, it happened incrementally. Um,
Mm-hmm.
my co-founder is my wife. The
Mm-hmm.
way it happened is that she wanted to transition into IT from social science, and my friend who was already in the industry and myself, we put something together and we trained her, we helped her, we coached her to actually get into the industry. And with that happening, we started also helping friends and family. So
Mm-hmm.
we did this for 2 years until we realized that we have something valuable that we can offer to the marketplace. And
Mm-hmm.
then we started our first cohort, but it was live in person. And from there, we continued iterating.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I have to admit is that we at least I, for the first year, mostly wanted to train people already in IT, already in help desk
Uh-huh.
type of roles, because in my mind, my business mind, it would be an easier sell, an easier proposition, a more obvious proposition
Mm-hmm.
to train someone who's already in IT. But
Mm-hmm.
it actually, when I went back to the data, I noticed that more people with no IT background was actually getting jobs, was more interested, wanted to know what I was selling, as opposed to people with some IT background who were already in help desk and those kind of positions.
Mm-hmm.
My theory is that when you are already in IT, you don't feel that you need much hand holding.
Mm-hmm.
You feel you can do things by yourself. But when you have no IT background, you come in as a blank canvas, ready to learn. So it comes with its challenges because
Mm-hmm.
you literally are helping someone completely change what they were used to,
Mm-hmm.
but it comes with its rewards as well because we've deeply changed the lives of hundreds of students.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also, it ties to the idea that we are in the business of transformation, not in the business of volume. We believe on quality over quantity.
So how
We
many people?
Mhm.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. So how many people are typically in you guys' class?
uh, we it's usually no more than 40 per cohort, but it
Mm-hmm.
mostly hovers around 35.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, we actually are only going to enroll 80 students for the year of 2024 for our Cloud for Jobs. Our Cloud for Jobs, we actually made it a very elite type of training where we only specifically train 80 students that are very committed, that go through an application process where they convince us that they are committed to actually deliver and do the work necessary. So we are very much about results, about understanding the commitment of the
Mm-hmm.
people we enroll, and most importantly, understanding if we are convinced
Mm-hmm.
that this we can help this person deliver the results. So that all that has to be checked off before we enroll you. We are definitely not in the business, or it's not our interest to grow exponentially where we are just training left and right. We
Mm-hmm.
mostly are interested in training where we think we can make an impact in
Mm-hmm.
people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
So
that's what we do.
what does the application process look like if someone is trying to go for like the class for job class? Like what are some traits you guys are looking for? Do they need like any previous skill set? Can they just be entry level, no experience? Like what are you guys looking for?
Yeah. First, we still stick to what our original offer is, which is we train people with no IT background. So it has nothing to do with how much IT background you have.
Mhm.
Although there are two things that are very predictive, and we've looked at the data for the past 3 years. We have an assessment
Mhm.
we have everybody take. It's a computer literacy, which is very different from IT knowledge. You have to score pretty high on your computer literacy, meaning
Mhm.
you have to know how to send an email and put an attachment. Believe it or not, some people, they hear
Yeah.
big money, they show up and they don't know the basics of computer literacy. So you
Yeah,
have to
that
score
makes
very
sense.
high in computer literacy. And also there's a second test, which has nothing to do with computers, nothing to do with anything technical,
Mhm.
is the your cognitive ability.
Mhm.
So this is very predictive. This number has to fall between, it's called a CCAT
Mhm.
assessment. It's a 15-minute assessment that's so telling. It, and it prescribes that someone who wants to get into IT should fall between 23 and 50. And we went back and looked at the numbers where everybody who actually enrolled with us and got a job fell
Hmm.
in that category. So
Okay.
we were like, you know what? How about we actually, because we used to have everyone take both tests, but
Mhm.
only take into consideration the computer literacy one.
Mhm.
So now we were like, the data is too clear. We only gonna enroll people who actually not only score highly on the computer literacy, but in the CCAT test as well, score where they're supposed to score, which is between 23 and 50. So that's the first thing we look at.
Mhm.
The second thing we look at is that uh, you have the time. Because, yes, because a lot of
Yeah.
people, they come with the excitement, they come with the money,
They
uh,
realize it's a lot of hard work.
yeah, and they don't come with the with the time or with the commitment to put in the work. So
Yeah.
that's super important.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
And
and
I try to tell people that all the time as well too. Like this, people love to get into this industry and think it's like a get rich quick
yeah,
scheme. And I'm like, no, don't get me wrong. If you stay in long enough, you can make a ton of money.
yeah,
But if you're not willing to put in the work when you first get in, you're gonna hate it. Like it
exactly,
only gets easier from there. Once you sacrifice the time, once you actually learn what you're doing, because a lot of people don't know actually. But I'm actually kind of glad you guys have start off with Linux and cloud because Linux is pretty much the fundamentals of everything, and cloud is the future of everything. Everyone's doing cloud. Everyone is AWS, GCP, Azure. That's where it is. And that's actually how I started my career. I started off as a sysadmin, and no one actually really knew about that. So I went from sysadmin to NOC analyst, and then I made my transition into
yeah,
cybersecurity. So seeing how you guys are like basing it off like the fundamentals of like all the skill sets in tech, and then you guys are future proofing with cloud security, that's actually really smart. But
yeah.
I have another question as well too though. So on average, you say you guys have around 30 to 40 people per cohort, correct? Per
Yeah,
class?
30 to 40,
Mm-hmm.
two instructors. So the ratio is pretty low in terms
Mm-hmm.
of student to instructor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but our Cloud for Job program, the ratio is way lower
Oh, okay.
because our Cloud for Jobs program, we will have 4 cohort in 2024, and the maximum per cohort will be 20.
Oh,
Um,
wow, that's great.
yeah, we don't play around. We
Mhm.
want to make sure everybody we enroll, we are convinced, we know that they will be able to actually land the job. And one thing we added to our Cloud for Jobs program is Security Plus. And the
Oh.
Security Plus is not necessarily for the technical knowledge it brings, although it's good.
Yeah.
It's mostly to give our students a leg up when it's time to consider GovTech, because
Hmm.
most GovTech jobs, before they even consider anything else in
Need
terms of
secret
technical
plus.
knowledge you need, they want you to have the Security Plus as per the federal
Yeah.
government. Not even necessarily because they need that technical knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So we've done so many tweaks and improvement to the program to actually increase the success rate of the program. We've definitely tightened up the application process. We want to make sure we have our enrollment advisors have a very long conversation about, are you committed? How much time do you have per week? Because the commitment is substantial. It's like you need to have 10 hours a week to put in terms of studying. A lot of people don't realize that. So we make sure all these uh, um, requirements are clear before we even move towards offering you a spot in our Cloud for Jobs program. Now, our Linux for Jobs program is a little, in terms of requirement, we only we look at the CCAT assessment, but we only consider the computer literacy to as part of the acceptance process. And the Linux for Jobs, it's shorter. It's a quicker path to the job market. In general, it's a easier program. So that's why we have if you want to go fast, you want to hit the job market fast, you go Linux for Jobs. If you want to go for gold, if you are committed to going the cloud route, we have it, but we want to make sure that you know the implication, you understand that cloud, it's not only passing certs, it's about showing up from day one with real hands-on knowledge to be able to solve real problem and add real value to the marketplace. Because a lot of people can get things confused. They hear, yeah, you can make $100,000, $200,000, but they never ask themselves, what do I need to have in terms of technical expertise to be worth $200,000 to a company? Because if you show up and someone is going to give you, let's say, $100,000, you have to actually bring them at least $150,000 of value for it to even make sense for them to hire you, right?
Exactly.
They get stuck on the money without realizing it's still a business transaction. I hire you for this amount. You have to bring me, in terms of value, in terms of business value, you have to bring me more than I hired you for. So the way you
and people fail to realize that.
and the way you do that
think
is you bring expertise to solve problems, to build things, to build system, to secure system, all these things that actually are valuable to the company you're gonna end up working with.
Yep. You got to make the money or you got to save the money. It's either or. Like, if I'm going to pay you $200,000, best believe I'm going to get something more than what I gave you, because at that point it doesn't make sense at all.
I actually like how you say it. It's either if I pay you $100,000, you better save me $150,000.
Yeah,
right?
because at that point,
or
we don't need you laid off.
You make me $150,000. So yeah, I like it. It's either you make me money or you save me money. I like that. I'm gonna keep that.
Yeah, no, that's typically how, when it comes to like jobs such as like Linux, security, cloud, I want to say more so software. Those type of company, I mean, type of jobs, you can kind of building out systems to scale and to build out, or even reducing the bills. Or you also like defending the company so that they not exposed to some of the things that you're going to deal with when it comes to cyber attacks and things like that.
Yeah.
And I always tell people this all the time. Whenever you're in this field, like, they're not giving you this money just for the sake of giving it to you. No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
And
I think we need to talk. We need to talk more about that, because this is the biggest misconception, and it's not only a misconception, but it's an attitude I see. Yeah. I want to make $100,000. Yeah. This boot camp claims that they can train me and go send me out to make $100,000. But why do you think you're gonna make that? You see, what expertise, what kind of knowledge you're going to bring to the marketplace to actually be able to be worth that. So this conversation, we have it with our students. We make sure we offer them not only a training, but we teach them how to learn, because
Hmm.
there's so much to learn, that not only they're gonna keep learning on the job, but we also show them how to build a long-term career. You see,
Hmm.
so
And that's
that's
another
how.
thing as well too. People so short-sighted on just like the quick money things like that, but they don't realize like in this industry, it's big, but it's small. Most likely, you're going to probably end up working with someone that you worked with beforehand, or you're going to be working with someone that know of you. And in this industry and things like that, if you leave a bad reputation, it leaves a stench, a long trail, and people not wanting to work with you anymore.
Exactly.
Not at all. So
And
another
LinkedIn makes it even smaller as a community.
No, it does. It really does. See, that's so funny though, and that's what people don't realize as well too. Because I know for me, I've never had to apply for any of my jobs. I normally people reach out to me, or I'm getting a referral through someone I worked with before, or even a friend, something like that. Like it's through someone I typically know. Once you get into the industry, you know someone. It's so easy to kind of switch and maneuver jobs when it comes to stuff like that. So I actually do have another question. Talking, kind of going back to like the class sizes as far as like the cloud for jobs and the Linux for jobs. So what is the percentage of people that normally get jobs
Yes.
whenever they complete you guys programs?
So we have a 68% job placement rate within blended job placement rate within 6 months,
Oh wow.
and closer to 78. Now it's about 79% job placement rate within a year. So now that we are about to add security plus to the
They raise
mix,
it.
and also it's gonna raise it, and also we are encouraging, we are calling on people with security clearance, that are in different, that are literally janitors, security guard at places that offer them
Hmm.
security clearance. We are calling on these people, because one thing we are realizing is that the entry level jobs in cloud reside in the federal, in the GovTech
Yeah,
space.
they're trying to
So
stand out and
exactly.
yeah.
So we are doing our best. This is our goal for 2024, to pivot a little bit to be able to reach out and enroll more students with that are at least clearable, meaning
Mhm.
you don't have a you don't have a rap sheet. Your credit, it's not, it's not 300, because they look at all
Yeah.
that. And you are not only ready to learn cloud, but you are willing to actually earn the
Hmm.
security plus as well,
Hmm.
because we see that there is a concentration of entry level jobs in cloud, and it's in GovTech.
Hmm.
So focusing more on the GovTech industry, calling on people that currently have a security clearance, maybe people who are in the military, or people who work in or around federal establishments.
Hmm.
That do, I'm talking about working in the cafeteria
Yeah, that's what people
in a
don't
government
realize. You get
base.
security clearance
It,
just being there.
exactly, because proximity because of proximity, you have to have a
Yeah.
clearance. If you have access to this, if you're close to things that are high, of high sensitivity, you
Mhm.
need that clearance. A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, no, it's
So
definitely.
we,
Yeah.
we we are doing other things that that is definitely going to increase our placement rate, and also we're going to be very much more selective into our enrollment process. Also, that's going to increase our placement rate, because we want to get this thing to 99%. That's my goal.
Mm.
I want to, yeah. That's my personal goal.
Uh-huh.
It's probably gonna take me 4 years, but I'm gonna get to a point where,
And if it
you
was
know,
easy, everybody would do
I
it.
know it's not easy.
Yeah.
I know it's not easy, but there are some guardrails I can put, and some requirements I can put in place. It's
Hmm.
of course, it's gonna happen
Hmm.
gradually. Um, because you don't want to put too many guardrails and have no one to enroll either. But as we pivot, we're gonna make sure we get to a point where we get closer to the 90% in terms of placement
Oh.
rate.
Someone actually asked a pretty important question. They said, and I'm gonna let you handle it. They said, "Is it important to learn Linux?" What's your take on it?
Is it important to learn Linux in order to go the cloud route?
They just
Or it,
in general, yeah.
I would say yes, but you
Mhm.
know, like I saw in a movie, you can only sell what's in your bag, right?
Yeah.
I'm selling Linux, so it's gonna be a bias answer, but I think it's important.
Mhm.
I think it's important for multiple reasons. First, uh, Linux, if you want to go into cloud, Linux, especially AWS, Linux is AWS is just an abstraction of an operating
Yep.
system called Linux.
Say goodbye
You know,
to the GUI. I
exactly.
live in a
So
tunnel.
you need Linux, and you need a healthy amount of it. So yes, you definitely need Linux, and you
You'll
need
be
Linux for so
surprised.
many other things as well. You need Linux even if you are going to cybersecurity,
Yeah.
because if you're gonna be doing penetration testing, if you're gonna be doing you know post hack investigation, all these, you need to understand the operating system where the breach happened.
Yeah.
And guess what? 90% of those servers that get breached, guess what operating system they're
Linux.
running? They're running Linux.
Yeah, no, I just made a
So,
post about that. Yeah.
so, so yeah, Linux is kind of the thing that you cannot go around. You see what I mean?
Hmm.
So, yes, you definitely need Linux. Now, if you go going a totally different route, so like data analyst or something like that, you
No,
don't need
even data
Linux.
engineering, you have to do it.
Engineering.
Oh, well, yeah, analyst, engineer, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There are levels to this,
Yeah.
but definitely you need Linux, and it's fun to learn, and it's such a versatile set of skills
Hmm.
that offer opens so much for you. Well, when you know Linux,
Hmm.
so I see no downside in learning Linux in
Yeah.
general.
No, I've always been supportive of learning Linux myself. Like I've been, man, I think that was the first thing that I really started learning. Because when I first kind of started like learning about the tech industry, I went the programming route first, hated it, didn't like it. I was just, I hated it, and so I ended up going like the network engineering route. Then I got introduced to Cisco iOS, which is basically some type of form of Linux, navigating of file system, things
Exactly.
like that. So I
Yep.
took some Linux classes, and then I did the Red Hat Certified System Administrator class, got the certification for it. And after that, like pretty much everything I've been doing in my career has been Linux, and now it's more so kind of going towards like scripting, just because I'm doing like a lot of like data engineering, cloud work, and what people don't realize, like learning Linux and Bash itself, that is, I won't say it's a program language, but it's definitely a scripting language that
It's the
allows you to
same.
do a
Yeah.
lot of powerful things. And people don't realize, like, some people that think like navigating the terminal and things like that, like, oh, I know Linux now because I can navigate the terminal. But people don't realize, like, actually learning Linux, it goes way deeper than just
Yeah.
navigating, like
Yeah.
cron jobs, scripts, being
Mm-hmm.
able to set different things up, build out web servers in there. Like, Windows made it so easy, allow you to have the GUI, to click things and things like that. But like once you actually started getting those jobs and your career start to elevate, you're gonna have to get used to being to the terminal. Because like now, I'm I'm rarely in the GUI. Like I'm always in the EC2 instance. I'm always like ECS,
Mm-hmm.
dealing with YAML files, dealing with any type of cron job. Like I'm always in the terminal now in my job, whether it's coding or scripting.
Yeah, but we have to also admit there are levels to it.
Hmm.
So, for example, if you're going to go the cloud route, you kind of need a little less Linux
Hmm.
than if you are going a Linux sysadmin direct, an actual sysadmin role. You see what I mean? So we try to give the right amount or
Hmm.
close to the right amount, not too much, not too little in terms of Linux knowledge, especially if you're going the cloud route.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh yeah.
so,
Uh,
what we realize is having dual certification where you come out with a Red Hat and a AWS SysOps, it makes you way more marketable because of one thing. Most environment are still hybrid environments.
yeah.
A lot of people don't realize you're going to end up in a job that has some cloud assets and some on-premises assets. And
Yeah.
they want someone who's versatile enough, who has enough Linux knowledge and cloud knowledge. So that's another tweak we did to our program where you come out with an RxCSA and a SysOps.
Oh wow.
That's for the job, and the security plus is for the Fed, to be able to
Oh,
break
so
into
you
the.
guys really been building this up.
Yeah. We try. Like I said, that's the goal. I'm telling you, we're gonna hit those the 90% in
And
a
you guys
few
are
years in terms of
authorized
perfect.
AWS
Yes,
partner trainer too.
yes.
Oh, no, that's
For more than a year now, we've been a authorized AWS training partner. Yeah.
oh, that's great. Yeah,
So
and that's the
we
thing.
got that
I
stamp
love that.
of approval on our training. So yeah, definitely.
So, have you guys ever thought about like specifically having like a program just for like cybersecurity? Has that been on the roadmap, or is just still kind of something you guys looking within like the cloud for job things for security?
No, um, we we want to leave cybersecurity for other people. Uh, we have another project in mind. We are actually working on a project, but it's actually
Mhm.
non-technical for people breaking into IT, but it would be definitely non-technical. It would be a place where people get the contextual training, career training, uh, when they finally get that job. Uh, how to write a proper technical email to your team,
Mhm.
technical business writing in general, how to write uh, um, documentation, technical documentation. There's a lot of things that are
That's a
not
skill set in itself,
exactly
actually.
technical, but is a very important skill set. So we plan on having a community and a non-technical platform where we offer those contextual knowledge that are soft skills, that are skills that are going to be
Mhm.
required and necessary probably from day one, but that are not necessarily technical skills. Because more and more we are training people going straight from high school that
Mhm.
never were in a corporate environment that actually offered them the opportunity to have those skills.
Mhm.
We are training people who move from blue collar jobs
Mhm.
that still making money, still in a very great career, but weren't in a corporate setting where they had to negotiate their salary, they had to negotiate their next move. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is the platform we want to build, where we offer all these trainings and resources and create a
Mhm.
community around it. So we still are gonna be here for people to get the technical training, but
Mhm.
we also understand that there's something that's needed once you get the job. That's non-technical. You see, so this would be more the route we go instead of building a cybersecurity program
No, that makes sense.
specific.
So
Yeah.
since we're on this topic, actually, so I know you guys within your program, you're going to teach people the skill set, you're going to get them certified, but you guys also offer apprenticeships as well as career support.
Mhm.
Like, can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. Once you pass all the prerequisite, we have some partner companies that offers you an apprenticeship. For Cloud for Jobs, it's a 3 month apprenticeship where you're gonna be solving real tickets, building real assets on AWS instances,
Hmm.
just to give you the hands-on necessary and be able to leverage this and add to your resume, because people, that's what they need, because there's a catch-22 in the
Yeah.
industry. We all know it. You need a job to get the experience, but where do you get the experience if you never got the
Yeah.
job? It's a classic. So with an apprenticeship, it doesn't completely break that cycle, but it gets you a little closer to,
Something to talk about within the interviews.
Exactly. And also it gives us something to talk about in the mock interviews, because this is a very important part of our process with the students. Now that you spend three months solving issues, building systems, troubleshooting things, now I have things on which to interview you, to give you feedback, to give you actionable feedback. Because one thing people don't realize is that when you hit the real job market, the feedback you get is very binary. Thank you, you got the job, or thank you, you'll hear from us, and you never hear from them. They're never going to tell you, hey, this is how it went. This is where you slacked. This is how you,
you just get a denied email.
Exactly.
Sorry, you for the next candidate.
A nice one, mostly very nice, but you just get an email that tells you that you don't get the job. So we incorporate mock interviews with people who are already in the industry, working in the industry, to grill you. To actually, mock interviews most of the time are, stronger and more go deeper than a regular interview, because we want to make sure you understand and get the proper feedback to go get better before you hit the job market.
Okay, no, that makes sense, and I'm actually kind of glad that you talked about that as well too, because I know with some programs, things like that, they offer the mock interviews and things like that, but they
This is
never really
compulsory.
rarely. Yeah.
No. You have to, in order to be signed off, to actually say for you to actually say I've completed the Cloud for Jobs program, you have to actually go through minimum three mock interviews, where not only we give you feedback, but also you also agree that you've delivered well enough to actually move forward. And all these are recorded. You can go back to those mock interviews, see how you've done, see how you
Man, I gotta go the extra mile.
yeah. See
Yeah,
how you
I should go back and reference it.
yeah, because that's one thing you never have the chance to do, or you never have in the real world. If you barely have time to take note of the few questions they ask.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So all these are recorded. We have a career success coach that does nothing but that. So yeah, we are very heavy on the support, on the post-training support we offer. And
how long is that support for you guys? Like once they complete your program and they're looking for a job, how long did they get you guys support for finding new jobs and things like that?
It's 6 months
Okay.
after we sign you off to get on our platform, where we help you. And by the way, we have a very smart platform that helps you organize and keep true to your job search process. That where you can keep track of how many applications you put in. You can put goals. You can say, hey, I want to apply to 10 jobs a day. It's going to remind you. It's going to tell you how many, it's not going to tell you, but it's going to help you log how many response you have, when to actually follow up, and all these things. It's a very smart platform that we own, that you get onboarded on to be able to help you improve your job search process as well. So all that is done for 6 months minimum, but we've had to work with students for more than 6 months, or a little less. It depends on the student, the specific student.
And on average, whenever someone is completing the program, like on average, based on you guys' data statistics, how long do it take them to get hired into the job market?
Yeah, it takes them under 6 months on average.
Okay. No, that's actually pretty great because what people don't realize is because I have so many people that contacted me within like the Security Plus. They'll say, "Hey, I got Security Plus." I'm like, "Okay, good." A year and a half later, hey, I got my first job.
Yeah,
So
listen,
it takes a while, and people don't realize that.
listen. I actually said that in a podcast previously. My wife, she's in a group. She's in a Linux for women in Linux group, and they did a poll. It's a Facebook poll. They polled everyone, and
Mm-hmm.
they said the single question was, how many months uh, on average did it take you to get a job after from the first time you started looking for a job, your first job?
Mm-hmm.
You know the average time it took people
How long?
after, not including training,
8 months?
13,
Oh,
13 months.
wow.
13 months. So that's the reality of it. So now, basically what I'm saying is anything less than 13 months, you should just be happy. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people come, and I understand why they come with such unrealistic expectation. It's because that's what they
Getting
keep
taken 90
feeding them. Get in tech in
days.
90 days.
Yeah,
They they
impossible. It's not happening.
well, you can.
Well,
Uh,
it depends on what you're doing.
exactly. But they get hit with those messages so much. So when you show up and you trying to give them real numbers, realistic expectation, sometimes they're like, that's not good enough in terms of message.
Hmm.
It doesn't sound great enough because most people they come and they're like, okay, what's the least amount of money I have to pay?
Hmm.
What's the most amount of money I can start with? And tell me exactly what I need to know, not one thing more. So that's the mindset. That's the kind of mindset I don't want to deal with. If
Uh-huh.
that's the mindset that you have, you are not cut for the program I'm trying to offer because this is not the reality of the marketplace. You see, the marketplace is about what's the real value you are able to bring in terms of troubleshooting, in terms of security, in terms of building
Solution.
security for my
Mhm.
system, in terms of helping me do major cost saving, like you mentioned.
Mhm.
You see what I mean? All this knowledge that's going to be worth hundreds of $1,000s, uh, you don't acquire that in 3 months. You see what I mean? You just
You know,
don't.
you're going to be learning forever in this career field. And I try to tell people that all the time.
Yeah,
Once you feel like you've mastered a skill set, you have not, because there's going to be something new that comes out, and the industry is going to advance to that, and you have to relearn it. But it becomes easier to learn it because you understand the ecosystem of what you're doing right now, and that's why I was trying. That's why I love the industry as well too. You're going to forever be learning.
yeah.
And that's actually another very important question because I get asked this question all the time. So, does YellowTail Tech train international
No,
students?
no.
Okay.
That's a quick no. I want to tell you why though, because I get that often. It's because my value proposition is not only I train you, but I help you navigate the job market, the
Hmm.
U.S. job market, and I cannot um, help you navigate a marketplace that I have no expertise in. I I'm not a learning platform like Udemy or Cloud Guru or you name it or Linux Academy. I'm a I'm more of a I help you throughout the whole journey.
Hmm.
You see what I
Holding.
mean? I hold your hand as much as you let me throughout the journey because they say they want their hand held until things really start happening.
Yeah.
Um, so that's why
Hmm.
we recommend someone who's international. We recommend them other platforms
Hmm.
that can train them, that can offer the training but we are not in the business of training. We are in the business of helping you transition into IT. Training is this part of that process.
Okay.
So I cannot deliver that kind of service, the end-to-end service for someone who lives, I don't know, in UK.
Now I respect that.
I
I
never had
respect
a
because most
job in
people.
UK. I don't
I
even know
respect
how
that
it works.
because a
You
lot
see
of
what I
people would
mean?
take your money and just do it and like, oh yeah, I can help you out and do this, and they're not
No,
really
no, no,
honest about it. They're more
no.
forward to it for the money versus
We
actually helping people make the
the
transition.
the only international students we train are international students that are international temporarily. For example, military servicemen.
Hmm.
They are international because they are deployed, uh, but they have a green card. They plan on coming back here. They are American. They plan on working. Let me
Hmm.
put it that way. If you are international, but you plan on coming to the US for your career, I can work with you. But
Okay.
if you don't plan on actually making uh, 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 the
Transition.
US your job market, I can't help you. I don't have the expertise outside of the US. And the US is big enough for me to, grow my company to the size I want without having to go
Hmm.
international. So I'm not gonna spread myself thin for no reason.
Okay. I have like an unrelated question, but I'm just curious on how this happened. How did you come up with the name YellowTail Tech?
Yeah, it's actually an interesting story. It's actually a love story. Uh, Yellowtail, the Yellowtail wine. When my wife and I met before we got married, we that was the first thing we had in common, which was this Australian cheap wine called Yellowtail.
Okay.
So so I used to send her flowers, signing Yellowtail because that's something we had in common,
Hmm.
and we used to joke about it. So when it was time to actually um, name the company, I'm like, let's do something fun with it, and I called it Yellowtail.
Oh
Now it
wow.
became a problem. It got big enough where people were starting to confuse us with the wine, so that's why we had to add the tech. Yellowtail Tech.
Okay.
So
Uh,
we had when it was time to actually
Incorporated.
register, we were like, oh shit, it was probably not the best idea.
Ah, so there's a little story behind it. No, that's
Yeah.
great. You said so your wife is also you trained her and helped her get into the industry as well too.
Yes, I did not train her.
Okay.
I helped train her because I'm not as technical, nearly as technical as he even is right now.
Hmm.
Because at that point, was already removed from this line of work. I
Hmm.
was more in business development, IT business development.
Okay.
But I called on my network. That's why it's important. And you mentioned that I still had a network of friends who were actually system admin and engineers, and I called them. It was like four of them. I was like, "Hey, it's my wife. Let's put together a little curriculum between us,
Uh-huh.
and let's train her, and let's get
Okay.
her all the resources she needs, and let's train her."
And
So that's how it happened.
and
So yeah,
now you leverage that and Yellow Tech came about. You
yeah,
helped her. Now you helping
yeah,
them. Let's do
yep, yep.
it. So
And
I have
then
another question as well too, because I know everyone loves talking about the money aspect of things when it comes to this. So on average, what are your students receiving for class for jobs as far as salary, and what's the average salary for your students to graduate for Linux for jobs?
the salary on average for Cloud for Job, we see around 85. But
Hmm.
it really, really has to do with where you are in the country. Don't
Yeah,
forget,
agreed.
I train people from Hawaii all the way to New England. If you are in
Hmm.
Hawaii, you're gonna make way more. If you
If you're
are
in California,
in
you're gonna make
California, you're gonna make way more. If you're in North Carolina, you're gonna make way less. You see what I mean? If you are in certain places in Florida, you're gonna. If you're in South Florida, you're gonna make way more than North Florida.
hmm.
So the average is looking around 80, 85, sometimes even 90. And
Hmm.
also there's another variable,
Hmm.
which is how well you
Yeah,
interviewed. You
people
see
don't
what I
realize
mean?
that. That's the most important because I've seen a lot of people get down leveled like they'll get the job offer, but they get down level based on how they interviewed. And when you get down level, you lose a lot of money.
or the opposite,
Hmm.
because a lot of people don't realize that the interview process is adaptive.
Uh-huh.
So you show up, it's like, it's like the AWS certification.
Uh-huh.
So basically, as they are interviewing you, depending on how well you're doing, they are upping the type of questions they
Yeah.
ask you. And if you are keeping up, they keep going up with the level. So they might start interviewing you for a junior position, and then
Hmm.
by the end of the interview, they're like, "Man, this guy is more suited for that other position that's open, that's more mid-level or senior."
Hmm.
So you might come in interviewing for a job that had a price a, a you know a price of 85,000,
Uh-huh.
because a budget of 85,000, that's the
Yeah.
proper word. And then you end up being offered a different job that had a budget of 105,000
Hmm.
because you did better, or the opposite happened. You
Hmm.
you half bombed the interview, but they need people so much. They're like, you know what? If we're willing to train him, we'll put him as a junior. We'll work with him, and we'll get him there. But we won't give him $105,000. We'll
That
give
actually
him.
happens to someone at my job right now. I actually interviewed him, and he interviewed so well that we ended up like I recommend. I was like, no, I think we should probably bring him in as a senior staff security engineer
Yeah,
versus just like a staff level because it was like everything. I'm like, man, like this guy is like really
impressive.
good. He's really smart,
Yeah,
yeah. And I kind of stated my reason on why. Normally, you don't see too much of people trying to up level you. But I stated my reasons why, like, hey, no, this is what he's doing. This is what he's capable
yeah.
of. This is like the mission problems we
That
have, and that was all for it. That was like, okay,
that that
cool,
that
let's do
happened. That
it.
happened to my wife.
Yeah.
She got actually the two companies she worked for.
Hmm.
She actually got a position that the position she got wasn't what she went to interview for.
Hmm.
You see what I mean? But it's not typical.
Yeah.
That's the disclaimer. It's not typical. People usually interview at the level they apply for.
Yeah. You have to be very exceptional. They just got like a lot of head count open, and right now in this market, there's not too much head count open right now.
Yeah,
I can
definitely.
definitely say that. So I have one more question as well too. So I know within YellowTech, you guys are doing like training facilities, things like that. Do you guys ever plan to do like any meetups or any workshops in person, or any just like cultivating experiences for like any individuals that want to be like, oh, let me see, kind of see what YellowTail is like in person? Because everything's virtual right now. You still have the virtual learning and things like that, but sometimes people they kind of want to mingle with other people in person.
Yeah, that's actually what the community we want to build. That's going to be one aspect.
Hmm.
There's gonna be a meetup aspect about it, where not only it's gonna be around the resources that are non-technical, but
Hmm.
a non-technical resources we understand as a resource
Hmm.
is people, is community, is actually connecting with real people. So we're gonna actually start pushing that very much,
Hmm.
starting in 2024, having meetups in different cities. Showing up with your YellowTail Tech shirt,
You
inviting
need
not
one, by
only
the way, actually.
you'll get one. I'll trust
Need
me,
one.
it's gonna be on its way. Um, but because when I realized that, it's not too long ago. I went to Black Men in Tech.
I was actually supposed to speak there.
Yeah, I went,
Yeah.
and everybody I asked, I made sure I asked everybody the same question. That was always my first question. So why are you here?
Hmm.
You know what everybody always said? I come here first of all to meet people that look like me.
Yeah.
That's the most consistent reason. Not to learn more technical jargon, not to necessarily get a job. Well, that
Yeah.
too, and not to know more about the industry, just to actually enjoy the company of people who look like me,
Yep.
who have the same interest as me. So this is definitely, thanks for asking. This is definitely what we see is missing in this era of
Yeah.
everything being online. People yearn for the opportunity to just mingle, just for the sake
Talk.
of it, just to
Being
talk.
able to bounce ideas, and I'm actually glad you brought that up, because I know like getting like in my career when I first started off, like because in most positions I've always been like the only black guy, and I've been doing this since I was like 19, so I'm navigating within like the corporate environment. I don't feel comfortable asking certain questions. I don't want people to be like, oh, that's a dumb question, this. But then it's like when you get around people like, that look like you, like me and my friends, we have a group message where it's like me and four of my friends, we all in the industry together. Like one, he's a red teamer, another, he's like a cloud detection engineer, another one, he's like a
Yeah,
programmer. And we just have conversations with each other and just like, hey, like I was thinking about doing this or, attempting this. Like, what do you guys think about that? And that's like, oh, like that's actually a pretty smart idea. It's like it's validating your ideals and making it like
yeah,
it's ultimately building your confidence. Because when you're like, people don't look like you already feel like you got the short end of the stick anyways. You got to be two times better than the next individual. And it just being able to like bounce those ideas off people that look like you without them invalidating you or making you feel like you're not as smart as everyone else. It's very refreshing actually.
yeah,
Because I for the longest I used to have some of the greatest ideas within certain meetings, but I would never speak up because I felt like, yeah, I don't think this smart enough. Because these are people that's been doing this for like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and it's
yeah,
my second year out of school, and it just really used to like it used to be a bummer, but now it's just like I don't really care. I'm asked the question now.
yeah. So
So,
yeah, that's gonna be the main you know intention of the community,
hmm
bringing resources to people either intending to break into IT or either have broken into IT but still need a community.
hmm
That's virtual, but also often enough that
hmm
actually gets in the real world. That's the goal.
do you guys have like a free like Discord or anything, just like conversation, or even when you guys like running your like your classes and things like that or programs? Is there like a community with people
Yes,
that's actually in those
yes.
classes? Okay.
We host this community on Slack,
hmm
but this community is for students and alumni.
Okay.
We want to build something a little bigger,
hmm
and it's not going to be on Discord. It's going to be on another platform, but it's definitely going to have the same feel, the same intention, and it's going to be it's going to also have a learning aspect to it. You're gonna have the occasion and the ability to consume mini courses about very specific soft skill and non-technical
hmm
skills that you might need to navigate the corporate
hmm
world. Yeah.
So regarding the alumni, what type of resources do they have once they've graduated the program? Do they are they still kind of come to the YellowTail Tech and say, "Hey, can you sign
Hmm.
for a podcast interview with
Yeah,
me?"
yeah. They also contribute. Don't forget. Oh, I don't know. I can't say don't forget, but the reality is 90% of our instructors were alumni, and it's
Oh
not by
wow.
accident. It's not by accident. We groom them, they become TAs, and then they rise up to become instructors. Because
hmm
who else is best suited to train you than someone who went through the same process as you, who has, you know, 3, 4 years of experience and understand what it took, understand what's important, understand your journey. So
hmm
we are very big on this. So to answer your question, the way our alumni give back, they come back in terms of as instructors, TAs, mentors, speakers.
hmm
They come and speak to our student body. they participate in mock interviews to bring
Mhm.
fresh new people to interview our students who are in that segment of the
Mhm.
program. So yeah, we keep them involved. We
That speaks
definitely do.
volumes of you guys' program though, because what people don't realize, when you truly understand something and you can teach it, that means you know it inside out. Like you truly know it if you're
Yeah,
able to teach it to someone else.
we
So that definitely speaks volume.
yeah. We have something called the MVP, meaning it's your peers, the
Hmm.
cohort will vote who was the MVP of the cohort,
Uh-huh.
and they get a prize. And this person is likely to get a job not only faster, but also likely to come back as a TA.
Oh.
So yeah, because it's clear people who love to help, love to
Hmm.
teach, love to help people understand.
Hmm.
They just are naturally the people who are good instructors
Hmm.
in general.
Oh, somebody actually just asked a very important question. Honestly, this may be like the most important question I probably asked you. They said, "How do I join Yellowtail and what's the duration?"
Yes. Uh, to join YellowTail, you just have to go on yellowtail.tech and you book a 10-minute call. It's going to be a intro call, and then from there we go forward. And what's the duration? It depends on the program.
Hmm.
Uh, um, we have two programs. We have the Linux program, which is 6 months. We have the Cloud for Jobs program, which is 10 months.
Hmm.
So it depends on how hard you want to go, how much of a commitment you want to jump in. You just go on but they should use your link.
Yeah.
Uh, uh,
So
uh,
click the link in my bio, guys.
yeah, I think that's the easiest way.
Yeah, click
Click
it. You
it.
go to my bio, click the link, and it takes you directly to book the 10-minute call.
Actually, don't go to YellowTail.tech. Click the link in his
Yeah.
bio. Yeah. Any other
So
questions? Because I can't see the questions.
yeah, so that I mean I'm right here. It kind of it was buggy on your end too. So I have actually a lot of different questions. Actually, it's kind of mixed questions. You know, my page is specifically cybersecurity things like that, and I know this kind of someone said like I see cybersecurity and tech sales like, a lot on social media. While someone choose one over the other, can you talk about pay and job opportunities?
Let me talk about cybersecurity and tech sales for a little bit.
Okay.
A lot of people don't realize tech sales, it it can make you a lot of money
Hmm.
if you are naturally good in sales.
Yeah.
They can teach you the techniques, but you have to be at heart a salesperson,
Yeah.
because yes, you have a base salary, but to start making real money,
Mission.
you have to be a high performer. In terms, you have to be disciplined, you have to understand how to work by yourself, how to create your perfect day. So tech sales, people hype it because of the potential,
Yeah.
not necessarily what people are
A lot
making
of
a
people
lot
don't
of
have
money.
the work ethic to make that potential.
Exactly, or the interest,
Yeah.
or the interest. Some people just want a nice salary, something simple, or something predictable. That's one thing I want to say about tech sales. Not everyone is cut for tech sales. Not everyone
Hmm.
should go into tech sales. That's one thing I want to put out there.
Hmm.
Second, about cybersecurity, believe it or not, uh, you need Linux, you need networking, you need all this. You even need cloud to be a
Yeah.
cybersecurity expert. The cybersecurity expert you want to be to make the money you say you want to make, you
Yeah.
need all three of these anyway. Because
Yeah.
my wife ended up becoming a cloud security engineer, a principal,
Mhm. Oh wow.
yeah, she rose to the level of principal in Sony. But
Oh
guess what?
wow.
She had a RHE, which is the Red Hat Certified System Engineer
Hmm.
certification. She had the Network Plus. She had all five of the AWS certs.
Uh-huh. Oh wow. She's killing
So
it.
that's that. She has 10 certification in total. But that's what made her be in a position to have to be able to be a cloud security expert.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people keep hearing cloud security, cybersecurity, but there's a different, there's another niche, which is cloud security. In
Yep.
order for you to know to be able to secure assets on the cloud, guess what you need to
Got to
know?
understand the cloud. You got. I tell people that all the time. You can't secure anything you can't understand, and that's what
That
people
you
is
don't
real about.
master. Not only you
Yeah,
need to
and
understand it, in order to secure it, you need to master it. How do you master it? By learning the the the, the foundational pieces of it, which is networking, which is the actual operating systems. It be Windows or Linux.
mhm,
You need to master the operating system.
yeah.
You know,
And that's what I
so
try to tell people all the time. Like, especially maybe looking for like anything secure, anything. I'm like, bro, like this is not an entry level position. You need to know cloud. You need to know networking. You need to know sysadmin because you can't secure a system if you don't know the system. You can't navigate.
exactly.
It's all you need to know how to read logs. You need it's like, and that's the thing what I hate about cybersecurity that people like try to sell on the internet. It's like, oh, you get it. I'm like, no, you need to learn 5, 6 different other domains before you come here.
Un- Unless you're gonna be an auditor,
Uh,
so you're gonna
uh,
have a checklist, and then you're gonna say, okay, you can be an auditor. You
mhm.
can write. If you love writing, you can write.
No, I will
Uh,
pass on that.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Have you
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
documentation? You can write cybersecurity
I'm doing a lot of
documentation for it.
documentation right now as well too, though. So I hate it. But actually, I do have a very good question, and I don't know if someone's ever done this, like within the LTIP Tech program. So let's say someone's going through the program. They say, "Hey, I want to start off with the Linux program. I'm loving it so much, and you know what? Now I want to pivot and also do the cloud program as well
Yeah,
too." How do you guys typically handle that? If you guys have ever handled it.
we've handled it. We've had
Okay.
it so many times, and how we handle it is that we encourage that you get your Linux jobs first, and you
Mhm,
just come back and you start at the cloud portion,
mhm.
because the Linux portion comes before the cloud anyway.
Yeah.
And we give you a prorated discount because of the portion you didn't have to take twice.
Okay.
It's very straightforward.
Okay. And so, what certifications typically come with the Linux program, and what certifications typically come with you guys' Cloud for Jobs program?
So basically, our Cloud for Jobs program, we just turned it into a Linux for Jobs program on steroids. So basically, for the Cloud for Jobs program, you come up with an RCSA. And for the Linux for Jobs program, you come out with an RCSA. For the Cloud for Jobs program, you come out with an RCSA, an AWS SysOps, and a Security Plus.
Okay.
And we actually encourage and have been enrolling people who already have the Security Plus,
Hmm.
figured out. You know, so yeah.
Okay.
So RCSA, uh, AWS SysOps, Security Plus are the three certification that we lean on in general.
Okay. And I know that SIXOP certification by itself holds weight. Because
Yeah.
I know a few people that got this well too, and it definitely holds weight. And I actually want to say it's probably one of the events because I believe it's a specialty.
No,
Um,
it's
it's
at the associate level.
okay, associate level because I know it's the architect,
Uh,
developer, and SysOp.
that is
Okay,
at the associate level.
okay, all right, sounds good. So I guess do anyone else have any more questions in regards to YellowTail Tech, Linux, cloud, anything in general, or do you have any last words or anything
No,
that you feel like someone that they know
no,
that you maybe haven't talked about yet?
no. But just thank you for having me. Thank you for having this chat, and
Mhm,
it was fun. And if anyone wants to learn more about what we do, what we plan on doing in the future, we have so much, planned for
mhm,
this community in general, because this thing is just getting bigger.
mhm,
That's one thing I want people to know. The 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 job marketplace is growing. Yeah, the financial markets now is acting up, but the marketplace, the need for computing, uh, uh, the adoption of cloud computing is growing.
Hmm.
So please keep this in mind. You are still, if you come in now in this industry, you are still very much considered coming in the ground floor, for fact, because in the scheme of things, cloud now is very much a very young
It is.
technology,
It is.
according
Because
to
there's so many
where
companies that haven't even adopted it yet.
they don't that haven't even start understanding how to leverage cloud.
And that's
You see what I mean?
actually funny though, because I was working at this one particular job and I was trying to introduce like AWS to them because everything was on prem. And I was just talking about like they was trying to like run this system. I was like, hey, like this is probably better. We host this like an S3 bucket for storage and things like that. I was like, well, that wouldn't be secure. I was like, I
What?
guarantee you this is more secure than
Then
your on-prem system. So
that
yeah,
hasn't been patched for 2 years.
yeah. So it's crazy. Like it's and it baffled me that they were so unaware of like the strength and I mean the pros of using the AWS cloud and things like that. Because and even then they would have reduced their costs as well too for like the storage that they was storing for us with other customers. I'm like, so what they was basically doing, they was building our servers and shipping it to the customer and managing it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
just set up EC2 instance.
I'm sure they
So
fired you. You had
yeah.
too much you had too much opinion. Ay, ay, ay. But yeah, man, thank you for having me, and yeah, I hope we have a another chat very soon, and go from there.
Yeah, no. So I definitely on this chat is definitely gonna be broadcasted on here, TikTok, and Twitch. I'm gonna make sure I have everything set up. I don't do it last minute, and the audience is gonna be way bigger and a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah,
So get
yeah,
ready for
and let's encourage questions ahead of time.
that. Okay, no,
That
yeah,
way,
we definitely do that.
that way we could come straight into what they wanna hear us talk about. You know.
Hmm. No, we'll definitely make sure we do that next time we do this.
All right, man.
Uh,
Have a great evening, man.
all right, if you guys want to check out YellowTail Tech, you can click the link in my bio and schedule a free 10-minute call.
All right. Take care, man.
All right, thank you. Wow, okay. Well, oh, it's okay. So, y'all, I'm trying to save it, but okay, I'm dealing with a of y'all because I want to save it. Uh, okay, this is weird now. This is crazy. Hold up. I don't think. Ah, imagine this trying to exit.